I am not a musician, not an expert in anything, but I have Logic now, Apple's recording software basically. It's a fancy version of GarageBand. Just think of it that way, like a Toyota, like a Lexus, a fancy Toyota. Logic is the fancy GarageBand. Can just do more. There's more plugins and stuff like that. So, one thing I like to do is play guitar. When I'm playing guitar, I find it better to have drums with it. Drums fills out the sound more. And from what I've been doing is using a website that has a drum machine on it, and I can put together rudimentary stuff. And it doesn't sound that great, but it does keep the beat and keeps the sound a little bit fuller and keeps the song moving forward. Now, the better thing to do would be to make drum tracks in Logic. So I have Logic now. And I know kind of where the plugins are, and I know what drums to use, or I know where to get good drums. And actually, that's the name of the application that I'm going to use. But I couldn't find a good tutorial that said this is how you do it. This is not a tutorial, but I'm showing you how I found out how to do this stuff, because nobody has a recent video. The most recent video I found was 6 years old, and this guy showed mostly how to do it, and now it's an old version of Logic. So this is 2021. This is the newer version. I'm not an expert. This is just trying to fill that little piece that I could not find, basically. So open up a new track, software instrument. In this case, the instruments are here. So this is called the name of the company's Native Instruments. Kontakt. I'm pronouncing that wrong. But anyway, choose, in this case I chose stereo. So that's going to be the drum output for instrument. And then hit create. This piano is showing you where things are as far as drums are, and you can move it around. I'm not totally sure about that. Somebody else explained it, but didn't fully explain it, because they always talk to you like you already have 5 layers of knowledge, and this is like for somebody like me who doesn't know anything. So now we have an instrument track. So you right click and you choose create new MIDI region. So there. So now you double click on it, and the piano appears here. So the thing about this is it does not have a labeling of where things are. That was my problem. I don't know how to get that yet. If you use one of the drums that comes with Logic, it is labeled, but this is not. So literally I just pound on every key and try to find where I'm at. So like I'm looking for a snare and a hi-hat and a drum, bass drum. I don't know where that is. And none of them are making noise. Do I have the volume up? And one of the documents at Good Drums has a bunch of videos, and they say that'll solve all your problems. It didn't for me. So Good Drums documentation is meh. They do have sales, so instead of getting the documentation that would help you do stuff, you get the stuff cheap. It's not a decent trade-off. I'd rather just spend a little more money and get told exactly what to do as an absolute amateur like I am. But anyway. So now you load your plugin. So now the plugin is loaded. Now we can go double click on the there. Logic is not. GarageBand is more user-friendly Logic for an absolute amateur who doesn't know anything. It's more of a pain. But if I can figure this out, I'll get a better sound, right? So C0 is your bass drum, and whatever this one is your snare. So you use a pencil tool, and like if you just want to do bass drum, just so now you can just loop it, choose. And if you want to take a look at the way the drums look when they get played like that, you can do this. The thing with this is when you actually look at the drums, you can tell. Actually, let's do that. Okay, you hit this tom, and you see it's that key, right? So then you hit the snare, you see it's there, and you see it's that. So now, when you're doing this, you can just go back and forth. So like each one, so just put a space in between it, and now you can just loop it. So this little gold thing means it's looped, and you just take it down. So then, and that's it. So now you can just find all the drums you want and do the order that you want, and then do your tempo however you want to. And for someone like me who's just trying to still figure it all out and brand new to Logic, never used Logic before, but have used GarageBand to a certain extent for a little while, this is just something completely brand new and underdocumented, really. There's probably somebody that you can pay to get this, but this is free. The plugins aren't free, Logic isn't free, but getting everything up and running has been a giant pain that I've been avoiding just because it's a lot of work. And it took me an hour of researching and trying to figure out everything to get to this point, which is a long time for someone who makes guitar stuff that's not fancy or anything like that. But hopefully everything will level up just a bit with more natural sounding drums. So this, if nothing else, is a document for me, so I can always go back and look and say, oh yeah, that's how you do this, how you program drums in Logic, or at least a rudimentary way to do it.